Okay, we're live again. I rebooted my software, created an entirely new stream, put all my settings in again. So let me know if it works now, and if it doesn't, we'll keep trying to perfect this. Okay, it looks like it's working now. So anyways, we were just looking at the song list and the modules for the game. So there are certain costumes that are recommended or basically are meant for these songs' music videos. So when you're going through the song list, you can go in here and it'll tell you which one is recommended, because you got all these different costumes that you can use in any of the songs. But you hit the trigger buttons and there's the recommended one. Normally it's something else and you have to buy, and it's different for each of the vocalists. This song is a very bad example of that, but if I go to, say, this song. Modules, of course, it's there. That one looks different. I'm eventually going to find one that is applicable to the situation. No, chat, I did not buy the DLC bundle edition. I bought the regular edition. So I've got the base 101 songs, not the however many they added in the packs. Which I think each pack has 6 extra songs in it. But anyways, yeah, like this song we're at right now, this is the recommended module, so we can go and use the funds to change into it, so the music video looks a little bit better and more proper when we actually play through it. Yeah, Neg, the Project Diva games overall haven't really had objectives and story outside of one game. The last game that came out on the Vita was Project Diva X. It had a story mode and it had objectives and missions, but it's the only game in the series that I know of. Project Mirai on the 3DS might have also had this, but it's the only one I know of that had a story to it and objectives and missions. The rest have just been, here are your songs, go ahead and play through them and have fun. I think some of the previous games had unlock capabilities, but, you know, Mega Mix is just, you start the game, here's everything. Have fun playing through it. As far as button time is concerned, there is a lag configuration that you can put in here, so that you can tweak settings to basically adjust to how you put in button inputs. At least outside of the whole difficulty thing, because you can set it between easy, normal, and hard. So yeah, we'll go ahead and start this song, and we'll see. Enjoy the music, and I might chime in on certain things as they come up. And let me know if the stream dies again. Hopefully not, but, you know. As far as subtitles go, it's a little weird. So all of the songs in this game are made by actual Vocaloid music producers over in Japan and around the world. From what I have heard, Sega did not go to each of these musicians, producers, whatever they call themselves, and get official translations for the songs, at least from what I've read. Since there are no officially made English translations on most of these songs. Every once in a while you'll get to one that is sung a little bit in English and has a little bit of English in the subtitles, but most of them don't, and from what I've been told and what I've read, that is all on a matter of getting legal permission from all of these music producers to get and use English translations. But yeah, bottom line is no. Most of the songs do not have English subtitles. You could probably find them around the web, but unfortunately, that's kind of how the Project Diva series has been ever since it started back on the PSP. All right. So now we'll go back to that song we were at. Or not. Oh, that's right. So, when you adjust for lag in the middle of a song, you can't clear it because it cancels this whole score thing. So you actually have to go back and do it again. So let's go back and do it again without going into lag so we can clear it. I completely forgot about that because I've never had to change any of the lag settings since I started the game. Which I think is mostly just because I've played a lot of the Project Diva games in the past. And when we get to some of the other songs, you might see something that is a bit of a intimidating, confusing aspect of this game in Future Tone versus the other games of the series. A lot of the previous games focused on single button inputs and holding down a single button before hitting the next. This game focuses on a lot of multi-button presses at once and holding down multiple buttons at once. Which, I mean, this song doesn't show a lot of that, but we'll probably get to another one here in a minute or two that will show it. And if not, I'll at least be able to put it in my review when I eventually make it later this week. I'll probably start working on that tomorrow. Because the main problem with that is a lot of times the game will have you hold down 4 notes at the same time. Which is like hold down the A button, B button, and 2 of the directional buttons at once, and hold them down. And before you're able to hold them down long enough to get the full bonus, you'll immediately have to use those same buttons again for something else. And that can be a little intimidating, even on the normal difficulty, let alone the higher difficulties. Okay, I think we're almost through it now. Okay. Yeah, it's challenging on normal, which is, well, it's more challenging. Because I even went back, I got my Vita out last night and re-downloaded Project Diva X, and I just playing that even on normal and hard just shows me how much more technical this game is. Because I know when the PS4 game came out, Future Tone, a lot of people thought that it was really meant for arcade controllers and not a regular controller, because of the whole multi-input thing. Sometimes I mix up the buttons, especially like when it has you going through a bunch of a certain button, like the A or B buttons, and then immediately goes down to more. Sometimes I'll swap out and use the right and down directional buttons for that as well instead. Though one thing I did really like, actually it's not in here, it's in the rhythm game settings. Well, let's go in here. Something I actually looked up and heard about before the game came out. Since this is the first Project Diva game to come out on a Nintendo system, there it is. You can do this. You can set it to the PlayStation buttons, which I think is really neat, especially for people who are used to playing it on, the PS Vita, PS3, and PS4. I mean, I don't do it like that. I do this. I use the up and left buttons and the B and A buttons. But I think it's really neat that you can do that. Just kind of, catering to the fact that this is, before now, this was pretty much a PlayStation franchise. Okay, anyways, back to this. So we'll check out what the recommended... Actually, I think the modules for this one were the defaults. Yep. So we can just go ahead and jump into this. Yeah, Striker, very good for people coming over from other systems. Because, I mean, it's been a long time since I've covered this series. I honestly didn't think it was that long. Because Project Diva F and F second came out before I started doing full video reviews, when I still was doing the blog thing. And Project Diva X, yeah, it's been 3 years since I covered that. It really doesn't feel like it's been that long. Whoops. Got my tabs mixed up. There we go. This is a little faster paced song, so it will probably get a challenge time here that's a little more hectic with what I was talking about earlier with the multiple button inputs that seem to cater more for arcade controllers than console controllers. You see, right there, it had us hold down 4 buttons, but it also didn't give us enough time to get the full hold down bonus. Some songs are a little more unforgiving with that, but that's the kind of thing that I was talking about. As far as arcade controllers for the Switch, I am not sure. Because I know when Project Diva X, I think, came out, I remember Hori made an arcade controller for the Miku games, but I don't think that controller exists for the Switch yet. I know Hori has made a Nintendo Switch arcade controllers, but I have not personally used them. This is probably the first game that I've gotten that I would probably want to use an arcade controller for, because I know as far as fighting games go, I kind of like using a controller for them. But anyways, we got through that song, so let's see what we got next. Let's take a look at our modules here. Alright. Thankfully, when you do decent to okay-ish on songs and still clear them, you still get a good amount of money. So I've never really had to grind to be able to buy the modules for the songs. Except one. I didn't buy a costume for Rin in one of the songs, because it was one of her bathing suits and it cost 3,000 VP, or whatever you call the currency here. Whereas most of the other ones are like 300 to 750. But for the most part, you don't really have to grind songs to be able to afford and see all the proper modules in the songs as you play them, which is pretty nice. Yes, Luke, I find it easier with arrows because when it first starts out, you know, it's just like ABXY, and I find it easier to kind of go back and forth between my 2 thumbs on both sides. And seeing the arrows for the arrow buttons instead of, you know, thinking Y means left, X means up, makes it a little easier for me. The only unfortunate thing is I'm used to playing the Vita games on hard mode. But at least from what I remember of the F series and X, normal feels just as hard or harder than hard was back on the Vita games, mostly just because of how more technical it is with all of the multi-button focus that this game has. Okay. Not okay. For a second there, I thought the song was closing right there. NEG, that might be with the DLC songs. We can cycle through the list right here. Yeah, because actually, go through all. Because all of the bass songs, I think, have easy, normal, and hard. Yeah. So we were in here, and we gotten down to here. Ah, yes, I remember this. This was in the older games. Actually, I think most of the songs in this game were in the older games. I believe there is a list of maybe like 10 or so, maybe 15 that are new to Megamix. Yeah, Striker. The one I looked up just a minute ago as well was also very expensive. Alright, let's get started on the next one. One thing I do like is in some of the selection is some of the older songs, like The World Is Mine is in this game. Okay. That was the first track in the original Project Diva back on the PSP. So I really love seeing that older nostalgic stuff for people that played the original games. Like, hey, that was the first song in Project Diva 1. I feel kind of bad because I'm struggling a lot more with this song than I struggled with Sadistic Music Factory in this game. And that was like the original I do not want to play this song from the series. I remember the first time I played Sadistic Music Factory, and it was rough. Yep, this is probably the lowest percentage I've gotten on a game so far. I think the lowest I had before this was about 58, 59%. Yeah, that song was a little rough. But we cleared it. Got 600 for it, so that's almost enough to buy another module. So now let's go on to the next one. Oh yeah, and just as I was mentioning, here's The World Is Mine, as I was trying to say before I realized that Disappearance was going to kick the crap out of me. This is actually, we're going go ahead and do this one. I'm not going to use the normal costume though, because I don't think there were modules in the first game. But they even use the same music video. And let me get all the way back to the beginning, because Miku has... The other characters have a fair amount of modules, but Miku has modules, and modules. But yeah, the original Project Diva game did not come out in the West. It was for PSP, and I think most of the PSP games did not come out in the West. But the very first song in the original Project Diva was The World Is Mine. So that holds a lot of nostalgia for me, and it might for other people who have been through the series that long as well. Because, I mean, the original Project Diva was interesting because it had a little bonus with it. Because I remember I just ordered the game off PlayAsia because I wanted to play the game, because I liked Vocaloid music. But it actually came with a Nindroid figure that I still have. Part of it is broken because it did not move well. But hey, I still have it. Raging Mages, I like the game. There are intimidating parts about it because this is very heavily based on Future Tone for the PS4, but it's still fun. I do like. I mean no offense to anybody who likes the way Future Tone looks. I like the way the previous games and this game look. Aesthetically, I like the way the models looked in these games versus the kind of more realistic Barbie-like look that all of the models have in Future Tone. Yeah, I think it's a decent entry point. I mean, as far as the Switch goes, it's really all you've got to deal with, and it does have a free demo, so you're able to dive through a couple of the songs to get a feel for it. I like the style of the Vita games a little bit more because they weren't as technical, but it's still fun. But anyways, as I was saying, like the original Project Diva game that came out in Japan on the PSP way back, I don't even know how many years ago it was. It must have been, 2009. This was the first track on it. So we're just gonna go hop down memory lane here, because I cleared this yesterday when I found it in the track list. But yeah, I love how they put this in here. It looks just like it did, and I'm using the original module because I don't think there were different costumes in the original Project Diva. So, seeing this song in here is always great for me because I have a lot of memories of this song in particular from the series because it was the first song in the first game. Yeah, Neg, that is the really big downer about this game. It's clearly based off of Future Tone, but Future Tone has double the song list. Because I think the $40 bundle pack on the PS4 right now will get you like a 220 songs, give or take. Now, I know that some of them are not. Some of the songs in this game are not in Future Tone, at least not yet. No worries, Striker. Have a good day. But yeah, as far as like price to content, that is a little bit rough because the base package of this game is $40 and you get 101 songs for it. The base game for PS4 is free to play, and then you got the $40 bundle pack to get you 220 songs. So sadly, that does get you a lot more bang for your buck. This is actually the second time the Hatsune Miku franchise has been on Nintendo systems. I'm pretty sure Project Mirai from the 3DS did get localized. Yeah, it did. Back in 2015. I didn't play Project Mirai, but yeah, this technically is the first time the Project Diva series has been on a Nintendo system. So yeah, you are right with that. Okay, so we went through that again, made a little bit more money, so let's dive into what's next. Yeah, and speaking of Mirai, I believe one of the tracks from Project Mirai is in this game, because I distinctly remember it was in here. Yeah, here we go. Because this game has the artwork for Project Mirai right there. Now, I'm not sure if this was made specifically for Project Mirai, but yeah, I do remember that because I've been doing these songs in alphabetical order and I immediately saw, oh, hey, Project Mirai DX, right there. Anyways, we were on the first sound. So let's dive into that and get a little bit more progression done. Oh, that module looks nice. Alright, let's get started here. Now, hopefully, if I keep doing these streams on a weekly basis, I'll improve on, one, not having the stream crash on me, and two, just better overall with the whole process. It's been a year and a half since I've streamed. I believe I went into hard mode once. But honestly, in most songs, normal has been a pretty good amount of difficulty for me. So I'm probably not going to really dive into hard mode until I clear most, if not all, the songs on normal first. But some of my favorite songs, I might dive into hard mode. Like World Is Mine, Luka Luka Night Fever, and a couple others. Because, like I said earlier, I'm used to playing on hard mode in the Vita games. You know, the F-Series and Project Diva X. I've just been sticking to normal here because of how technical the game is compared to the previous handheld games. Now, admittedly, I haven't failed a song yet, outside of that one earlier where I messed with the lag settings to show you guys how they worked, and it just kind of makes you fail by default. But you know. Well, I did pretty well on World Is Mine just a little bit ago, so I might give it a try in hard mode here in a couple minutes, just so we can see the difference. Maybe it'll be the first failure I do. Alright. That one wasn't too bad. This is a little after 1. I'm pro. Since it took me so long to get the stream working right. I was originally gonna only stream until from about 12 to 1:30, but I'll probably I might go until 2 today. Since it took us, what, 30, 40, 50 minutes for me to figure out how to get the stream working right, especially after it crashed. But yeah, since that idea of hard mode, let's try hard mode on let's try World Is Mine on hard mode. Let's see the difference, since I just played that a few minutes ago. Oh, it's no problem, Nick. I really enjoy doing the whole battery life thing. Alright, let's take a look here. Not too bad so far. Of course, if I really wanted to do a test, I could do Sadistic Music Factory on hard mode. But, I'm good on that. I know Sadistic Music Factory isn't as hard as I say it is, but I just remember that was the first really big difficulty spike I hit in the older games. Okay, so far, this seems kind of like the challenge mode section of other songs just in the normal part. But this seems, so far, this seems like something I could easily adjust to. Then again, this is a song I know very well. So let's see how it is a little bit later. What? Okay, that's the first time I saw that. That looked strange. But that wasn't as bad as I was expecting it. Yeah, that wasn't... I was expecting that to be much worse. I got 800 for it. Okay, and I'm assuming hard mode is the start of the rankings. Sure, why not? I'll upload it. Why not? Turn to song list. Okay, so you have to be hard mode to unlock that. Nope, I'm good. I might stay on hard mode for a little bit to see what some of these other songs are like. No. I can already hear the song in the background. This is probably going to be difficult enough on normal. I'll stick with normal for this one. I'll go back to hard mode later. So I'll probably delve with hard mode tonight or tomorrow. Okay, so and since I'll be streaming until about 2 o'clock, I'll probably keep going in Miku until about quarter till 2. Then we'll jump over and take a look at the anniversary event in Overwatch, because that started yesterday. And if you guys have any suggestions on ways to improve this whole stream format, feel free to let me know or comment on it whenever the stream gets archived. Because if this does become a weekly thing, I want to keep getting better at it and make it a little easier to access, just better overall, less mistakes, less crashing, less, just better. Because I know right after I announced that it would be happening at noon, I started thinking, is there a better time when I can do it? And I started looking through the people I'm subscribed to, like Star Wars Theory, Stream 4-Star, Oxhorn, a bunch of those other ones, to see, okay, when do you guys stream? So I might think on that later on, or you guys can put suggestions on better time frames. Oh boy, 69%. Yeah, go ahead, Zio. The questions don't have to be about what's on the screen right now. So go right ahead. And Neg, yeah, that is a really nice thing. I like the recommended outfits. Makes it look a little more fitting in each of the music videos. Did I? No, I didn't buy that yet. Yeah, whenever you want to ask Zio. I don't know just how much lag is in, but off-topic questions are fine, so whatever questions you have, just go for it. If I am able to answer it, I will. Glad the stream is still going. It's gone for 46 minutes without crashing. All right. Yeah, I'm not sure, Neg. I know that a fair amount of them are in the US, but I think the last time I looked at my analytics, the top two were the US and the UK. Okay, that one is cleared out. Alright, let's see what this question was. Okay, you were talking about doing a shout out to another review channel. Are you talking about like a channel that you do yourself? And yes, I did like the Phantasy Star Online aesthetic to this song. It looked really nice. Because I know the localized version of Phantasy Star Online 2 is supposed to come out soon for PC. Because that game was on PS Vita for the longest time in Japan. I think it had the record for the largest download because they kept adding more updates and updates and updates. I think it was like 40 or 50 gigs on the PS Vita. But yeah, Zio, if you let me know what kind of channel it is, like if it's your channel or someone else's, as long as it's, you know, like gaming related, I wouldn't mind like throwing out a link or just putting it in like an end card to like the stream or a video or something. You wouldn't have to pay me or anything for that. The only thing I'll say is I will not get into the habit of putting out shoutouts all the time. But every once in a while, I wouldn't have a problem with that. But that's just one of many things on YouTube that I just really just don't do very much. Because I know there are a lot of, I'm not sure what the word is, standard things that a lot of people do. Because if you notice, like, I have a card at the beginning of each video that'll advertise my Patreon, but I don't do the whole you know the bit that a lot of people do, like a lot of channels will start off a video saying please subscribe because this percentage of the audience who watches my videos are not subscribed, or you know, that whole make sure to hit that thumbs up and subscribe, hit that bell notification. I don't really ever go into that because I don't really care about that. I feel like it's not needed. But hey, that's just me. But I have no problems you know, tossing out a link or saying something. I can't pull it up on the stream as in like the visuals of it because my computer's not plugged into my capture card right now, and YouTube likes to immediately do the whole copyrighted material and shut my capture software down, so I can't pull it up on YouTube. But I could you know, I could verbally mention it as I look it up, and you know, like put it in like as a card in an end screen for the archived version of this stream. Now let me see here. But anyways, let's get back to this. Let's get back to progressing through the game. Hi there, Eunuch. Oh, not much. We're just kind of chilling out, playing Project Diva, just kind of chatting about things. Neg, Pandemic Life has affected reviews, but in a good way. Basically, I've been furloughed from my regular job until they decide to open back up, so I've had a lot more time to work on reviews. So, you know, I've had a lot more time to I guess think about the review process, because I've been making a lot of changes to the audio lately. I'm trying to make better audio, because I've always disliked how the audio sounds at really high volume compared to, you know, other YouTubers out there, which admittedly I don't have the, you know, like $400 or $500 microphones that they have. I have a regular Blue Yeti, which is great. But, you know, I've just been trying to improve, and I've just had a lot more time to do that. Yeah, I think I can do that, Zio. Just, I'll have to think about how I'm gonna do it, but yeah, I could do that. Is it your, actually, you could probably either send me a link to the channel, or if it's your, Yeah, yeah, just let me know which channel it is, and I'll probably start working on this game's review tomorrow afternoon or evening, and then you know I'll figure something out. Unique. It really depends on what game it is, because as far as yeah, it really just depends. If it's something that I know I'm going to go back to, I'll normally keep it around, and I'll sometimes I'll go back to it because I've got the main Switch I use outside of recordings is my Switch Lite, and it's got a ton of stuff on it. Because I've got a 400 gigabyte memory card on it. So a lot of times when games are like, I want to, I'm definitely going to come back to this, or I want to keep playing this, I'll keep it around. Sometimes I'll delete it later on, sometimes I won't. I mean, obviously I can't keep all of the games I own on a memory card because I've been reviewing Switch games since 2017. And my memory card just is not big enough to hold all Switch games that I own. But you know, most of the stuff that I know I'll go back to, or just like my favorite games of franchises, I'll keep around there. Because I'll probably, I've always enjoyed the Project Diva games, so I'll probably keep this loaded on my Switch for quite a while. Because every once in a while I might just go back to it, play through a few songs just to enjoy the music, or when new DLC comes out, that sort of thing. Now, Zio, you don't have to switch over to it. If you just, you can just pop me a link to the channel, then I'll pull it up and, figure that out later today or tomorrow on how I want to do that, because I've never, done that sort of thing before, like, talking about a channel or a sponsorship or something like that at the beginning of a video. But just give me a link to it just so I'll be able to access it and then figure it out from there. Okay, it's about 1:40 now, so we'll probably wrap up stuff with Project Diva, and we'll probably just go into Overwatch for a few minutes, because the anniversary event just started yesterday. We've got a lot of new cosmetic stuff that they've got available. But if you want to watch any of this footage, the stream's going to be archived later. We'll just make sure everything's saved here. Good deal, good deal, good deal. So how far did I get in the stream? I got 5 left in T, so that's not bad. I'll be able to easily get this done later on tonight. Oh, okay. The chat's not letting you post links. Okay. All right, now I pulled up your channel in another tab. Is it what is the name of the channel you're talking about, Zio? Because I see you've got Zio Crisis and Zio Crisis 2. Let's skip that intro. I don't want to. That. The origin countdown. Okay, let me see if I can locate that real quick. Oh, good, that loaded up. Oh, okay, I see it. Yeah, I got it. See, I'll take a look through that a little bit later, and I'll figure out what I'm gonna do to, and I'll just throw that into a little bit of the intro for the next review. Oh yes, Eunuch, I did hear about that, the whole GTA 5 Epic Games thing. Anyways, so yeah, we're just gonna spend a few minutes, do a couple matches in Overwatch because the special anniversary event just happened. Because as you can see on screen, they're showing a bunch of the new special skins they released during the event for characters, which luckily I only heavily use a couple of the characters that got the new skins, Mercy and Ashe, and thankfully the you logged into the anniversary event loot box I got actually had Mercy's new skin. I'm not sure how much I like it, but yeah, it was a nice little find. But anyways, we'll just do a couple matches here, see what the daily loot box qualification things are for this, and then we'll close the stream out. Alright, so we got loot box reward for this. I don't know, Zia. I'm not sure if they're going to update Overwatch into Overwatch 2. I don't think they are. Because I know they mentioned back when it was announced that Overwatch 1 players would be able to cross-play with Overwatch 2 players. So I'm assuming either it's going to be a separate download or a different game, but I'm not entirely sure. I'm still relatively new to Overwatch personally. I've only got a few characters I feel decently competent with, so I'm still kind of taking in a lot of stuff about it, especially when it comes to Overwatch 2, which we seem to have very little info on at the moment. Neg, I'm more of a handheld console gamer to begin with. Plus, I am not sure my computer could play Overwatch. We'll queue up for this, and oh, we got two. So let's see. Okay, so this looks like a 4v1 sort of thing. So we'll queue up for this, and I'll take a look. 4 gigabytes of RAM, I'd have no problem with. The Core i3, because I have a Generation 1 Surface Book. That's what I use. Oh, I'll go with normal mode, because I've never done this before. 30 gigabytes of free space wouldn't have a problem with. 2.3 gigahertz, that might be where I would. I'm not sure how well my my Surface Book would run Overwatch. Eunuch, as far as upcoming games, I'm really looking forward to the BioShock and Borderlands collections we are getting in a little over a week, actually, on the 29th. Yeah, BioShock 1, 2, and Infinite, and then Borderlands 1, 2, and Pre-Sequel. I really enjoyed playing Borderlands 2 on the PS Vita, so I'm really looking forward to playing through all three of those games on the Switch. Alright, who do I have? I have not played much of any of these characters. Okay, I've played Anna a little bit. This is the only thing that throws me off, but it's also something that I like about these hero-specific matches in Overwatch that limit who you play as. So basically, it's saying, "Oh, you haven't played these guys? Well, guess what? You're gonna learn a little bit today. Get a little bit better at them." But yeah, as far as upcoming games, I'm looking forward to those 2 collections, and I'm also looking forward to Outer Worlds, because I really like the Fallout games. Because I've been playing a lot of Fallout 76 this past week, because when Wastelanders came out, I made a new character, went through story stuff again, and it's been a pretty decent, when I want to do something outside of just review stuff, sort of game. And the fact that Outer Worlds looks very similar to Fallout makes me I'm just looking forward to when that Switch version comes out, which is supposed to be next month. Now, this kind of match set here, I really like. This whole PvE thing. I think this is kind of what they're going to go for when Overwatch 2 comes out, and we have those PvE story missions. This is a nice little change of pace from the constant PvP stuff.
Just one of thousands like me, but one moment of clarity changed everything.
Yeah, as far as Overwatch 2 feeling like an update, it does seem that way, especially with the whole crossplay thing going on. But I guess it really just depends on how substantial the all the new stuff is, especially the PvE and story campaign they're adding in. Because, I mean, I really liked all of the animated shorts that Blizzard released for Overwatch. It's a real shame that it never had a proper story mode. And Unique, as far as games I play outside of YouTube, outside of Switch games that I replay, lately it's mostly just been I've played Fallout 76 a fair amount, and I play Gran Turismo Sport a little bit each day, because I like how they made that whole play the game daily thing and you'll get a free gift card. So I play that a little bit, and Fallout a little bit. Every once in a while I'll get into a PS4 game. But outside of that, it's mostly like if I want to replay something on the Switch, or something of that nature. But lately it's just been, I do a little daily stuff in Fallout and GT Sport when I'm not doing review stuff. Alright. I'm actually having a lot of fun with this game mode right here. I love this this co-op aspect. Something I haven't really experienced that much in Overwatch. I mean, I know that there's always the team aspect, but this whole PvE fighting an AI thing is really neat.
The Reaper is a fearsome foe. He may still get the better of us.
I will get us home safe, as I always do.
Even though I'm not playing Anna very well right now, it's still fun. You know, this is a bit longer than I was expecting it to be. Oh yeah, Dead Space on the Switch would be great. I mean, maybe one day we'll get it, because, I mean, every once in a while these collections pop up, because we had all these Resident Evil games get ported over. We had the Devil May Cry games, then we have these Bioshock and Borderlands games. The Metro series came over. Maybe eventually that will happen. Well, I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Because if I recall, I think there was a Dead Space on mobile as well. I didn't play it, so I'm not sure if it was a port of the original or just its own thing. And then again, we've also got the Doom games that have been coming out on the Switch too. Because I'm looking forward to the eventual release of Doom Eternal. And yes, Unique, I have played most of the Persona games. I have not played Persona 5 yet, or the Phantom Strikers, the Musou game. But I played Persona 1, both versions of Persona 2 on PSP and PS Vita. I played Persona 3 Portable on PSP, and I played Persona 4 Golden on the Vita. And I played the first rhythm game, Persona 4 Dancing All Night.
Course through the monster, and its body destroyed from within. I'll heal you over
There we go.
The air became charged in the arcade as the summoner appeared in their midst.
Oh yeah, the Mario remasters sound really great. Because I mean, I mostly think of that because of Mario 64. 'Cause I loved playing Mario 64 on the DS. Sadly, the guide I made does not exist anymore. But my Yoshi's always been my favorite character in Mario, so I went through the DS version of 64 and I made a guide for all of the power stars that you could get just playing as Yoshi. It wasn't accepted to game FAQs at the time, but you know, it was fun to make. So if they remade 64, or basically made an upscaled version of 64 DS and added new stuff to it, that would be great. Because that was back in the PSP and DS era where it was like really a marvel to see 3D games like that on the go.
Creations forward, consumed with his need for revenge.
As far as the number of games I've played, I don't know. Like on the Switch specifically, I mean, I am constantly playing games for review, so I know, you know, it's a lot because I've been reviewing games since 2013, and I've been doing Switch since it came out. So, a lot, I would say.
Reaper's body faded into the darkness of the night. The Reaper is never fewer.
Let's see. I wonder if the
Good night.
oh, it does. Cool. So the power up to put enemies to sleep does work on the PvE enemies. Nice.
Protect the door. Setting out the welcome mat.
I'm glad they added this game mode here today. I really like this PvE aspect. It's a lot of fun.
The Vikings struck down the Reaper.
Hold the door. Here, take a healing potion.
This isn't
I have empowered you.
isn't too bad considering I'm still very poor as far as proficiency with this character. Oh, hello, that's an interesting Mercy skin. Actually, no, I need to take care of these guys first.
Sleep. Back on.
Okay, now let's worry about which Mercy. That looks really neat. I mean, I probably wouldn't use it, but that is one thing that's really neat about the cosmetics. Some of the costumes in Overwatch, you can definitely tell they put a lot of work into, as opposed to just, you know, here's this palette swap with blue colors, here's this palette swap with green colors. Yeah. I can definitely understand you, Neg, I can definitely understand you liking the original. Because I know sometimes it was a hassle when you were forced to swap over to a different character to do certain power stars. That was honestly one thing that I didn't like when I was making my Yoshi playthrough. I wished you could go through the entire game with all of them, or with each of them.
Walls of the castle. The battle was over, and the castle had been saved.
I also remember there were a bunch of local rumors back in the day that Waluigi was in Super Mario 64 DS, and you had to do this crazy feat stuff to be able to unlock him. Of course, it was just like the whole Mew behind the truck thing in the original Pokemon games, just stuff that people said. All right, we won, and I got an anniversary loot box. So, let's open it up, see what we got. Nice. A victory pose and a skin for Diva. I don't know if this is an event skin. That's so neat. And there's one more we can work on today. So endless is, let's see, what's the difference between co-op and endless? 4 wonders come to stop him. Maybe it's just last as long as you can. Okay, we'll jump into this, and once we get done with this, we'll probably get ready to close the stream out. Yeah, that's very that's very true, Nick. The Wario sections are pretty much what I was talking about with being forced to switch characters. And at the same time, the whole Mario is the only character that was allowed to go in and fight Bowser. Because I remember trying to go into the Bowser levels with another character, and unless I think you could go in after you cleared it once, but you were forced to go in with Mario. So if you wanted to use Luigi or Yoshi to go against Bowser, you couldn't. From what I remember, I played it back when it was originally came out, so it's been a little while. But you know, if they modded Mario 64 to maybe not have the okay, who I have access to. Still not very many people in those two. Let's go with... Won't let me. Alright, I'll go with Soldier. That's not bad. Oh, I like that one. Okay. Oh yeah, that is unfortunate, LX, that your online got canceled. But yeah, I really like Overwatch. I mean, I've never been someone to get into these pretty much no story campaign multiplayer only games, but Overwatch has a lot of charm, and well, there is a lot of story stuff to it. It's just not built into the game, because Blizzard made all of those great animated shorts that could have been a part of a story campaign, which I'm hoping is what Overwatch 2 is going to be like. Oh, I got kicked out. Okay, maybe I'm not going to use him this one. Alright, I guess... No. I guess I'll use Tracer. Pro tag girl. This is the unfortunate thing for me right now, because I'm not very good with most of the heroes that were available to me in this mission. But hey, whatever. Oh yeah, the thumb pad controls. I forgot how that was in Mario 64 DS. That was very difficult. It was so much easier to play if you put that DS cartridge into a 3DS. Okay, I guess we can just come up here. Fight these guys as they come out. Even though Tracer's got a noticeably small clip size.
Rumor said that the Reaper had betrayed his former comrades and was thusly killed.
Setting out the welcome mat.
Zombies crashed against the door, their bodies exploding as the old wood splintered and
Okay. Getting back to all of this. Yeah, amazing. 2004 has been quite a while back. I remember a bunch of those DS games playing for the first time when we would take our DSs to school when we shouldn't, and we could play them in our band class every once in a while, like when we weren't doing stuff. That was fun.
No one can hide from my sight.
Oh yeah, it's no problem, Alex. I mean, I just enjoy doing this coverage. Because, I mean, I started doing it as a hobby back in 2013, and as it's grown and I've enjoyed doing it more, I've just been, you know, putting more effort into it. Because I'm still amazed that I went so many years before I got my Blue Yeti, because audio quality back when I just did Vita stuff is pretty rough. Okay, I don't remember what Tracer's ultimate does.
Wait for it.
will-o'-the-wisp flickered.
Okay, I remember what Tracer's ultimate does. Oops. My bad. Okay. So let's not do that again. There you go. I've barely used Tracer, so I think that's why I didn't know what her ultimate did. I've played a bunch of different characters, but I have not played Tracer that often. Mostly because most of the time when I play games with the limited hero pool, she's not an option.
As the battle raged, Dr. Junkenstein himself made a grand appearance.
Well, I appreciate that, Tazia. That was quite a while back. But, you know, I think it's just a situation of you look back at stuff you did and you think, how did I think that was acceptable? How did I ever think that was acceptable? I mean, I thought about that just the other day when I reviewed Fallout Shelter for the Switch. I made this awful, I think it's like very cringy skit at the beginning of it. Which I'm sure at the time I thought was going to be really, really funny. And I mean, I'm sure it was. But, you know, you just look back at stuff you've done and compared to what you do now with improvements, it's like, wow,
Can hide from my sight.
I did that.
Beaten back Dr. Junkenstein's initiative.
But, you know, but then at the same time, when I started first started doing YouTube stuff, I probably didn't expect it to expand as much as it has. Neg, I hope so. I mean, I really like the form factor they've made with the Switch. The whole hybrid console can be console and can be a handheld. So I would think that unless they add some completely different concept in their next console, I would think that the Switch games would be forward compatible. I mean, obviously I don't know, but I hope they are. Because, like, the other consoles kind of shied away from backwards compatibility for a while, but I think, from what I heard, Xbox is going back to that. So I'm hoping that everyone will go back to that. Oh, that's cool, Zio. I'm glad I helped inspire you to do what you're doing. Okay, there's the summoner. It didn't do as much as I was hoping. I do find this a lot of fun. It's a lot more fun in the long term than normal multiplayer matches where you're just running through for maybe a minute or so and then get nixed and have to wait to respawn. I love this co-op aspect. Even though I'm not really one for multiplayer games. Well, most multiplayer only games at least. I like games that have like a story and a campaign to them. Alright. I definitely understand that, Zio. The whole anxiety thing. Because I've had many hurdles when it comes to anxiety and that sort of thing. So I definitely understand being able to do something or make something to help you deal with that. Alright, now we gotta...
The will-o'-the-wisp flickered out of existence, and it was only a matter of time before the curse.
Uh-oh. Welp, looks like we lost that. That was still fun, though. We got through 7 out of 12. Yep, I have 2 Zio. Thankfully, there are still services available during the pandemic to be able to have like therapy and whatnot. Because I recently had a therapist. I'll probably go back to him because I had a lot of anxiety at my job. Oh hey, I'm in the I'm in the thing. Cool. All right. That was pretty fun. But yeah, anxiety sucks, but hey, at least there are a lot of stuff available that you can busy yourself with and use to help you. But with that, we have been streaming for an hour and a half, so I think I'm going to call it quits here. I learned a lot from this stream, and yeah. Hopefully I'm going to do a little bit better next week when I keep doing it. Oh, Zio, before we leave, it's a lot of different things. That's all I'll really say about that. It's a lot of different things, and it's changed over time. But anyways, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and close the stream out. Thank you guys for watching, and maybe I'll have something else for you next week. So I will close this out, and you guys have a good rest of your day. And Zio, I will work on that whole shout-out thing when I work on my Mega Mix review here in a day or so. So,